The Batman vs. Superman Easter eggs that flew over your head. With a running time of 2.5 hours, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice has a lot going on. We've gone over all 153 minutes with a fine-toothed comb and picked out the best and biggest Easter eggs to give you hints of what to look for in the movie. Here's a spoiler-filled guide to all the DC Comics goodies peppered throughout the film. One more time, for anyone who's not paying attention, major spoilers ahead. Still here? Great. Let's dive in. Darkseid is coming. Bruce Wayne's nightmare vision, which occurs while he's asleep at his bat desk, hints at something major looming on the DC movie horizon. Fans of the comics will recognize the flying creatures in this scene as parademons, the nasty comics creatures who serve the intergalactic uber-villain known as Darkseid. You can also see Darkseid's Omega symbol carved into the ground at the beginning of Bruce's vision, and Luthor seems to directly reference his impending arrival when he threatens he's coming at the end of the movie. But that's not the only hints of Darkseid's presence we get out of Batman vs. Superman. Mother Box. When Wonder Woman takes a tour through Lex Luthor's meta-human files, we get our best looks yet at the future members of the Justice League, including the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. In particular, Cyborg's origin, told via lab footage that shows him being, booted up for the first time, has even more to offer fans than just the beginnings of a major superhero. That's because we get a look at what seems to be a Mother Box, a super powerful supercomputer ripped right from the pages of Jack Kirby's New Gods saga. Just like Batman's vision of the future, the Mother Box has major ties with Darkseid and the aliens of New Genesis and Apocalypse. Since it looks like Cyborg's creation has direct ties to New Gods technology, just like the new version of his origin in the comics from 2011, expect the hero to play a pretty big role in the DC Extended Universe. Riddle me this. Batman's troubled past is felt more than seen or discussed in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, but Snyder's fondness for referencing comics lore can be seen in the building where the showdown between the two heroes goes down. If you look carefully, you can spot what looks a lot like some graffiti left behind by the Riddler, or perhaps some of his henchmen. Might we see him in future DC movies? And will Jim Carrey reprise the role? Joygasm! Ugh. KG Beast. Lex Luthor has a high-ranking henchman in Batman vs. Superman named Anatoly Knaizev, played by Callan Mulvey, and although he doesn't look anything like he does in the comics, DC fans will recognize that as the real name of the villain known as KG Beast. Could we be seeing Knaizev in a different form later on? Considering his fate in this movie, getting exploded after Batman shoots at the flamethrower he's wearing on his back, it's a good bet that he'll be more inclined to wear something closer to his comic book costume in future appearances. Assuming, of course, he hasn't simply been incinerated. Mercy Graves. That's no ordinary employee bringing Zod's corpse to Lex Luthor. Fans of Superman the Animated Series will recognize the character of Mercy Graves, played here by Tao Akamoto, Luthor's personal assistant and bodyguard. She became a fan favorite during the run of the series, and it's exciting to see her brought to the big screen in such a major movie. Of course, unless we misunderstood the scene where she's inside the Senate building that explodes about halfway through the movie, we might not get much more Mercy in future DC film flicks. Ah well. Metallo. Before the movie came out, it was rumored that Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice would feature an appearance by Metallo, the comics villain who goes from life as a soldier to a life of crime after having his body rebuilt with kryptonite-powered cyborg parts. That didn't quite happen, probably because of how many other details were crammed into its running time. Yet, if you watch the closing credits, you'll see that one of the technicians demonstrating the effects of kryptonite in Luthor's lab is named Emmett Vale, which just happens to be the name of the scientist who built Metallo. Watch for the Metal Man to make his debut in a future DC Extended Universe film. Jimmy Olsen. As much fun as Zack Snyder clearly has calling back to the comics, he isn't above changing things up when it suits him. Case in point, Jimmy Olsen's brief and ultimately tragic cameo in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Early in the film, when Lois travels to the fictional country of Nairobi, Africa for a story, she's accompanied by a photographer who turns out to be a CIA spook and is quickly put to death by the warlord she's interviewing. According to remarks Snyder made during his press tour for the film, that's actually Jimmy Olsen. Although Snyder didn't think there was any room in the DC cinematic universe for him, the director decided putting one of Superman's best friends in the movie and killing him off would be a way to have fun with the character. Zod of Kandor. We saw a return from Man of Steel's bad guy, General Zod, albeit in the form of a corpse, and then a CGI monster. While the trailers showed that to be the case months before the movie dropped, the little robots inside the Kryptonian ship did give us another cool little Easter egg. We find out that Zod comes from the city of Kandor, which is better known to comic fans as the Bottle City of Kandor. The capital city of Krypton, Kandor is shrunken and stolen by the Superman villain Brainiac and is added to his intergalactic collection of artifacts. After Superman and Brainiac square off, Kandor ends up under Superman's protection at the Fortress of Solitude. Hopefully we get a chance to see a movie version of the classic Superman villain with Kandor in tow. The Dark Knight returns. If you've watched Watchmen, you know that Zack Snyder likes recreating comic panels in his film adaptations, and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice is loaded with callbacks to one of its biggest inspirations, the Frank Miller graphic novel The Dark Knight Returns. It starts early, with the movie's depiction of Bruce Wayne's parents being killed. A shot of Miss Wayne's pearls around the mugger's gun is a direct lift from the book, and continues throughout the movie, both in the dialogue and in the way certain shots are lined up. More than anything, however, Batman's powered armor, which he wears during the title fight with Superman, is taken straight from Miller's iconic series. Action Comics. Love him or hate him, Snyder definitely enjoys paying homage to the comics. One brief example comes during an argument between Clark Kent and Perry White at the office of the Daily Planet, during which White tells Kent that he can't report on the types of stories he wants to cover because it's not 1938 anymore. As any DC fan can tell you, that's the year Superman made his first appearance in Action Comics #1. Must there be a Superman? The movie's Action Comics reference is far from the only nod to the Man of Steel's printed adventures. During one scene, the Senator played by Holly Hunter asks, "Must there be a Superman?" It's an interesting question, and one that directly points to a 1972 issue of the Superman comic in which our hero is forced to face a tribunal for his, quote, crimes against humanity. Since the hero is instrumental in the defeat of Doomsday and the foundation of the Justice League, this is a question that gets answered with a resounding yes by the end of the movie. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more videos like the one